I just finished helping a friend finish up his short film with all the post-production stuff. I did color grading, and I also did this sniper scope effect. This effect is completely done inside of Davinci Resolve Fusion. There are no external assets that I used. It's all just built in Fusion, which I think is pretty cool. So let's get into it. Here's our plate. This was shot on a Canon C70, so it's in C-Log 2. So the colors are going to be a little weird because I've tried to get us out of a log color space just to show you the effect, but basically I just have this color space transform at the end of my node tree here. Basically I wanted to be able to color grade after the visual effects were added, so this is just kind of a temporary measure so that I can see what the final thing is going to look like, sort of. So I'm sure there are better ways to color manage a fusion composition like this, but I don't know what they are. I'm not an expert, so that's what I did. So starting off at the beginning, I just have this color corrector here. This again is just color management. It's just to bring up the exposure so that I can sort of see what it's going to look like with the color space transform. Then I've got a really simple particle system just to add kind of a layer of dust. So I can turn that merge on. You can kind of see what that's doing there. Really, really simple. There's just an emitter. Here, let me get my second viewer up here. There's just an emitter here that's giving us a couple little dust particles. After that, we've got, let's see, what do we got here? Oh yeah, so I used a displace node, which essentially kind of warps the footage based on an alpha matte that you pipe into that. So I just made a background like this with an ellipse mask and blurred the edge, which basically just makes that displacement affect the middle of the frame. This just gives it kind of this lens bulge effect. It's a little bit overdone, I think, but all my other attempts were too subtle and you couldn't tell what was going on. So we've got that, and then we've got the crosshairs right here. So these are just a background node with two rectangle masks that are super, super tiny. And then I put a box blur on top of those just to make them kind of stick a little bit more and feel a little bit less like just an overlay. What do we got next here? Ah, yes, the vignette. So this is just a background node with an ellipse on it. So we got that, and then we have two blur effects. We have a prism blur, which adds kind of a chromatic aberration effect, and a zoom blur, which kind of makes that prism blur look a little bit less crunchy. This is just to kind of mimic some imperfect optics in a scope, and I think it looks really cool. And then we have an ellipse mask on top of this, so this is just kind of around the edge of the scope here. This is also pretty heavily feathered, as you can see over here in the left viewer. Then on top of everything, I just put another prism blur, and that's on top of everything. That's the image, the crosshairs, all that stuff, just to kind of help everything stick together pretty well. So yeah, that's the effect. I think it turned out pretty good for what it is. If you have any comments about how I could do better with the color management stuff or anything like that, yeah, throw it in the comments down below. And let me know if you want to see more breakdowns like this. I'd love to do more of this stuff.